Okay. This one, not this. This one is sold. I gotta make a sheath for it. This one is sold. Gotta make a sheath for it. Somebody asked about a blade in here at in a video, so I got to go back and watch the video and see which knife it was. So I'll be right back. Okay, that's this knife here, and it did come out nice. I'm really shocked at how nice it cleaned up. Now you got to look real close, but you can still see minor pits, but it'll be you know, that's as bad as it'll ever get if you know how to take care of your knives. So this doesn't have an edge. I got to put an edge on it. Actually, none of them have edges, and when I'm done with the sheaths, I'll put the edges on. So if somebody wanted to know how much I wanted for this, and with a sheath or without a sheath, I can't remember. So I'm fixing to text him and see if he wants it, and I'll include that in my sheath making for today if he wants a sheath. And this is one I bought at auction, and my wife said she wanted, so I'm gonna put an edge on it. She tried to open a box up the other day and it wouldn't open. And this blade is actually very sharp, and this blade is not, so she probably used that blade. But I'm gonna get them both sharp. Okay, and today what I'm gonna do is I got 3 deplorables that I'm going to cut out. And that's all I'm doing in here. And then I'm going into the leather shop because I got the air conditioner on running in there, and when it cools down I'll be ready to go in there. I deleted my live that I had last night because I don't want anybody who comes across that video to think the knives that I was auctioning off are still for sale. And I wanted to thank the 2 people that bought the knives. Thank you very much. And what was I going to say? I don't know. I'm feeling pretty tired lately. I don't know why. I feel swollen. My hands feel swollen. You can actually see the knuckles here swollen. So I think I'm going to have to lay off the sanding for a little bit. My arms are killing me. My wrists, you know, I got arthritis pretty bad. And this hand is pretty messed up. My thumb I had surgery on. The first 2, actually, the ring finger and my how you doing finger are messed up when I was a kid. They got cut off and reconnected, and so I had trouble with this hand all my life. Now I'm having trouble with my pinky. It gets hung up and I gotta unbend it by hand. I can do it right now, but if I use it a lot, it gets hung up and it won't unbend. I think they call that trigger finger or something like that. Okay, so let me text this fella and see what he wants to do. And if he wants this with a sheath, I'll incorporate that in my sheath making today. Get an edge on that. And I got a bucket down here. I'm gonna start soaking these rags that I want to keep, because these rags I use for polishing, and sometimes I use them for oil, 3-in-1 oil up there. So I got a bucket I'm gonna put them in, and some Dawn dishwashing liquid, and just get the biggest part of the dirt off of them. And then my wife probably won't freak out when I put them in the washing machine as much. Oh, one last thing in here. I found, these are called pommel nuts. And I ordered some 8x32, and I'll just have to rethread this. I have no idea what that is. That's, without a doubt, it's metric. So I hope it's not that far of a departure from 8x32. Who knows? I'll see when it gets here. And here's another thing. You know, I've made 2 wrenches, and neither one of them work that well. You can't get a lot of torque on them. And this one here was so corroded that I couldn't get I had to drill the nut out of there. So I was going to buy some pommel nut wrenches. Well, guess what? They don't call them pommel. These are called pommel nuts, but the wrenches that undo them are not called pommel nut wrenches. They're called tang nut wrenches or spanner nut wrenches. And it took me forever to figure that out because I couldn't find them. I was thinking, surely somebody has a wrench that's made for this. And I did find some on Amazon, but they had very, very poor reviews, breaking and stuff like that. So I found a bit set, a spanner nut bit set, and ordered it. And I'll have to have a little ratchet that, you know, because they have the hex that fits into like a bit holder. So I've got a bunch of ratchets. I'll just get a 1/4-inch drive socket and a ratchet and keep it in here. Okay, now I'm going to cut them knives out. I got to put a new blade on that saw. And then I'm going to sharpen this for my wife. And then we're off to the leather shop. And maybe this gentleman will, he's a really late, he goes to sleep really late. So I would assume he wakes up late. Because there's times that I get up at 2 or 3 and he's still up. And, you know, our schedule, everybody's schedules are different. When you get old, you sort of fall into your natural rhythm. And my natural rhythm is I go to sleep about 8, 7:30 sometimes. And I wake up, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, that neighborhood. Whenever I wake up, I just get up because there's no going back to sleep for me whenever I wake up. And it might be a dog, you know, scratching or licking its ear, licking its feet or shaking its ears that wakes me up. Okay. See you in a bit. Okay. As usual, my plans have changed. I was going to cut 3 deplorables out and just leave it at that. But not only did I cut one out. See, the thing is, I can't stand comfortably for long periods of time without shifting back and forth my weight from leg to leg or leaning on something. And I can't do that with the bandsaw. So I cut one out, and I'm already sanded up to, 220. 320 is my next grit. I go to 600, 800, then I buff it. 320, 400, 600, 800, then buff. And then this is what I chose for the handles. Maple burl. And I forget who this is from. Probably Desert Ironwood, Arizona Desert Ironwood, because this is usually what they do is they have this double-sided tape that they put their scales together with. But that's going to be a pretty handle there. And this is going to be mirror polished. So I'll set this back over here. And I can't decide whether I want to use stainless or brass pins. With a mirror polished knife, stainless pins really look nice because they kind of match the blade, the shininess. So someone expressed an interest in this and they haven't answered me yet. Someone expressed an interest in that, but they're also buying a cleaver and they haven't answered me yet. And this person, this is Wyatt When Able, wants this knife, the K-Buy. So I'm going to make a sheath for this right now, and then I'm going to go mow Bev's pond in her yard. It's finally dry enough where I think I can get the lawnmower on it without sinking. Wyatt's going to be real happy with that knife. That is a nice knife. And I'm going to make a really nice sheath for it. But first, remember these? These pins here are what I've been using to hold my sheaths together when I fold them over to sew, so all the holes line up. But I poked myself probably 30 times a sheath. Well, I bought these, and they have a point on them. So I'm gonna, before I do anything, I'm going to, on this little sander here, because it's a low-speed sander, right here, I'm gonna knock the points off them, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna use, what machine I'm gonna use next to sort of buff the ends so they'll go through the leather quick. So let me get that done, and then I'll show you the other machine. Oh yeah. All right. And see how close I can focus here. Okay, These are the ones that I just knocked the tips off. And these are the ones that I have sort of polished the tips. Hold on, right there. Using this machine. These are Scotch-Brite wheels. And I think this is the one I need. This is a stiffer one. So basically it's polishing the tip where, you know, it'll be rounded and slide into the leather. And even with these tips ground off, they're still a little rough and they could poke me. And I'm trying to, that's time consuming. That's 100 of them right there. So you just start from the beginning, and it took me forever to do 100 knocking the tips off. Now I'm gonna run them through this and be done with it. And then I only got to do it once. Boy, little jobs like this just take up so much time. But I got them all polished and the points knocked off and polished, and I think they're going to be okay. So now I gotta put all these away. I'm gonna clean. These are actually my sewing needles. These aren't. They're way too small for anything I do. So I'm gonna clean the rubber cement off of these, the contact cement. Put these away. Keep these handy, and then I'm going to start making a sheath for this. I got to draw it out on a piece of paper right there, and we'll get to work. All right, I got cut out and glued. I'm gonna let that glue dry. I'm fixing to go mow. Probably took me a couple hours to mow, and I will be back and finish this up. Lordy, that took a long time. I had to mow the entire yard twice because the clumps of grass and the bahia I kept sticking up. Okay, I'm fixing to sew this. You know what? It is after 4 o'clock. I don't think I'm gonna finish this today. My dogs are hungry. I'm tired. And I was gonna try to ship this Wednesday, but I'll have to ship it Thursday. So this is Wyatt's. Give me a second, I'll turn this off. I'll slide the blade in there and show you. I still gotta cut my belt slots and put my snap there, but I'll show you what it looks like in the sheath. Yeah. Yep, I like it. It sounds bragging, but I don't mean it as bragging. I'm getting better and better at making these 3-piece sheaths. You know, for the longest, I didn't want to make them. And then I made one for a guy, I think in New Hampshire or Vermont. And then I made another one and another one. And slowly I've gotten my confidence in these. And, you know, learned little tricks like adding a wedge here to bring this up a little bit for the knives that have the real thick bolster finger guard here, or the big thick heavy handle. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow to finish this. No, I won't. Well, I'll do it in the morning because 2 o'clock I gotta be South Shreveport to get my first infusion of Entyvio. So I hope there's no side effects. They're gonna have me sit there for a while to be sure I'm not dizzy or blackout or anything like that. So have a good Monday, y'all.